Am I the asshole? For leaving for a ski trip while my wife and kid were asleep. My wife and I have a daughter, Chloe. Chloe has autism and developmental delays. Chloe gets very clingy to my wife when she doesn't feel well, and she's basically been sick since Halloween. One thing she does when she doesn't feel well is refuse to sleep without my wife, so almost every night for the past month and a half, my wife and Chloe have been sleeping in the guest room. The problem is Chloe is a kicker and likes to sprawl out, so my wife doesn't sleep well when she's sleeping next to Chloe. To let her get some rest, I've been getting up an hour and a half early every day so I could take Chloe in the mornings. I get her dressed, do her hair, give her breakfast, and drop her off at daycare, play with her on weekends while my wife locks herself in the guest room. This has been exhausting, so when my friends invited me on a ski trip last weekend, I obviously wanted to go. I tried to tell my wife about it, but she shut it down immediately. I thought she was being unfair because at least she gets a break in the mornings and when Chloe's at daycare. I don't get a break, so last weekend I packed up and left the house before Chloe and my wife woke up. I sent her a text telling her where I am and when I'll be back. When I got back, there was a note saying Chloe and my wife were staying with my wife's family and that she hopes the trip was worth it. The only time she's spoken to me is when she texted me pictures of Chloe at a park to let me know that she's okay. My friends all say she's overreacting and that she shouldn't keep my kid from me, but my mom called me and cursed me out for leaving my wife with Chloe over the weekend. Am I the asshole? Okay, let me get this straight. You have a sick daughter who has developmental delays who is extra clingy to your wife. Your wife has not gotten a full night's sleep in over a month because she is sleeping with your daughter. Your wife works and takes care of your child and does more household chores than you do. But because you get your daughter dressed and to daycare, you deserve a 4-day ski trip with zero notice to your wife that you are leaving? Yeah, of course you're the asshole. You literally ditched your family while they were sleeping, and you're really wondering if you were the asshole. You're the asshole. Your own mother is offended by your egregious conduct. Why did you need Reddit when it's obvious that anyone who sneaks away and leaves his wife and child is a very bad egg? You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You said that your child is clingy when unwell and that it is your wife that she wants. And that she needs to sleep next to her mom at night, and your wife do not get any sleep. So because you get up a little early in the morning and get the kid ready and do a drop-off for a short while, you need a break? Are you serious? It is called being a freaking parent and doing the basics. I am not surprised your mom went off at you and your wife went to her parents. I don't get a break. Your break is the 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep you get at night. Her break is the 1.5 hours of sleep she gets in the morning. You want to trade? You made a unilateral decision to abandon your wife for the weekend with your sick kid. You're the asshole. You never get a break. What about all the time that isn't the hour and a half that you take care of your daughter? Your wife is working on an hour and a half of solid sleep, and you're patting yourself on the back for giving that to her. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You have a child with developmental delays and who has been sick for a month, and you thought the best way to get a break was to run away. Can't blame your wife one bit for being pissed and going to her mom's. So your wife gets an hour in the morning, and when she is at daycare, that is still a lot of time she is spending with your child. She sleeps with her and spends evenings and weekends. You work and you get to sleep alone every night. Were you at least planning on letting your wife do a weekend trip with her friends? You're the asshole. Everyone is entitled to a break, but that does not mean you get to up and leave, especially with zero communication to your wife. She gets a few hours of break to take a nap or have some peace to herself. That does not entitle you to a whole dang-a-bit weekend. You're the asshole. Of course your friends say she's the one suggesting it's perfectly fine to abandon a tired, sleep-deprived mother alone all weekend with a sick child, literally for mountain sport. What do you mean you don't get a break? You get 8 hours of sleep every night, surely that's your break. Why does your wife's hour and a half of sleep count as a break but your whole night doesn't? You're the asshole. Your wife is not overreacting. AITA. Jesus man. You left on a 4-day trip and think that equals 1.5 hours in the morning? Hope you didn't like being married cause your wife sounds like she's out. If you have to sneak out of the house, you know you're the asshole. Actions have consequences. Did you really expect it to be fine when you just up and left? You're the asshole. Your wife needs help but you need to hit the slopes. How is that a fair marriage? You're the asshole and a spineless one on top of it. She gets 2 hours before work and 2 hours after work. I'm also going to guess that since to you she doesn't work the way you do, that you feel handling the running of the house is her responsibility as well. Thank goodness she has actual family to support her, and don't be surprised if the next contact from your wife is in the form of divorce papers, a child support application. All parents get tired and want a break, but most don't take that break at the expense of their partner. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're the asshole. You're so the asshole your own mother sees it. You don't get a break. Are you fucking serious? Your wife has been sleep deprived for over a month. I get her dressed, do her hair, give her breakfast, and drop her off at daycare. That's called parenting. You don't get a trophy for doing the bare minimum of parenting, and you certainly don't get to abandon your family for 4 days. And not only are you a huge asshole, you're a coward. Texting her after ditching her and your kid. Yeah, I hope that trip was worth it cause you're not gonna be married anymore. You're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole. What does your wife do while your child is at daycare? How exactly does one send a sick child to daycare? Would you have thought your wife the AH if she had done the exact same thing to you, sneaking off with her friends for the weekend? If this isn't a troll post, then your mom had every right to curse you out because you are a demonstration of her parenting and she's embarrassed by your complete and utter lack of responsibility, empathy, maturity, etc. I'm sure she thought she raised you better. Oh, obviously you're the asshole. Info: how long was the ski trip? If you were just trying to get a day of skiing in with your friends, that seems pretty reasonable. All parents need a break, and a day to yourself is something both of you deserve. But if you snuck out of the house for a weekend or longer, I'd be gone, too. Edit: 4 days? You're the asshole x 100. Your poor wife. You actually took a trip without telling your wife in advance? She just woke up and you had bailed for 4 days, leaving her with a sick, needy child? And you even have to ask if you're the asshole? Hope it was worth it. On the bright side, you'll have a lot more downtime when you only see your kid on weekends once the divorce goes through. Obviously you're the asshole, you have to agree that in advance. You're clearly in a difficult situation, but you can't just up and leave. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. OMG, how could you think sneaking away for a long weekend skiing with your friends was the right thing to do? I thought she was being unfair because at least she gets a break in the mornings and when Chloe's at daycare. I don't get a break. You don't get a break from what? An hour and a half each morning after an uninterrupted night's sleep? You're the asshole. You don't just pack up and leave without a word for a weekend 4 fucking days when you have a kid, especially not a kid with autism and developmental delays. You can go away for a weekend with your buddies when your child is better, not while she is clinging to your wife and keeping her from having a restful sleep. You're the asshole. So what you are saying is that your wife gets about an hour and a half of decent sleep per night after you wake up Chloe and feed her and drop her off at daycare. How very parenting of you. That said, I get you need a break, but so does your wife. Maybe instead of insisting on a solo getaway for yourself because you wake up early, perhaps you could have offered that she go do whatever she wanted the following weekend so that both of you could get some well-earned relaxation.